Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host, Tom Howe, and I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news content that we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. On today's show, we join Will Behenna from the Beach Access Project, an initiative working to break down these barriers and make our beautiful coastlines more accessible to all. We check in with Harbour Housing, who are tackling homelessness their own way, in inflatable orange suits, of course. They visited Chaos on their way to Glastonbury, where they're sparking big conversations and showcasing the creativity of their residents. As well as that, we take a trip to Ladock to hear how the community are backing a project to restore the village's church bells, which over recent years have become unsafe to ring. If all that wasn't enough, we hear from Louise Fox of Mor Media Charity, the creative force behind the Cornwall Film Festival, who shares how they've been bringing people together through film, events and opportunities for more than 20 years. And we welcome Esme Pearson-Brown of Dirty Feet Theatre Company and the brand new Tayloo Theatre Company, who answers a very important question. What happens when a band of mischievous fairies hijack a festival armed with glitter, junk mushrooms and an escape room in a caravan?
NEWSWAVE.
When you think of the beach, you probably imagine sun, sea and sand between your toes. But for thousands of people across the UK, enjoying the coast isn't that simple. Despite having over 1,500 beaches around our coastline, only a small number are truly accessible to everyone. Joining presenter Ross Lannan this week was Will from the Beach Access Project, an initiative working to break down barriers and make our beautiful coastlines more accessible to all.
NEWSWAVE.
I actually grew up in St Austell, and I spent a lot of my summers on the beach. And I was then involved in a cycling accident where I broke my back and was left with a spinal injury. And sort of that obviously then had major implications for me being able to carry on going to the beach. Fast forward to last year, and I started a paddleboarding project to help people with disabilities to get out on the water. And I just realised how frustrating and difficult it was to find beaches that I could get to the water to go paddleboarding. So I came up with I just thought I need to do something about this, because this just isn't right. And if I can do it for me and get better access for me, then that will hopefully help other people.
What a fantastic, I love to see when people put their kind of lived experience and their passion for something into a project that is then going to hopefully benefit so many more people. It's really great that you've taken on this challenge, and it is a challenge, isn't it? I think we all know Absolutely. When it comes to accessibility, especially on the beaches. So how's things been going with the project so far? What have you kind of found most kind of prominent in regards to your kind of research and that?
Well, the research was actually quite interesting. I looked at what other European countries are doing and found that the Spanish and the Greeks and the French have got really good access guidelines. They've got organisations that are responsible for access. That's similar in Australia and America. But we have nothing in the UK. We actually don't have any guidelines around making any blue space, which is anything to do with water, accessible. And so we've got quite a journey to go on.
Absolutely. And so the kind of purpose of your project then, is it not just to try and physically encourage the right people to try and make changes to make things more accessible in these blue spaces, but you want almost do you want kind of more government guidance, and you want more standards that are in place that people are held more accountable, that they have to follow?
Yes, so we have really good guidelines around accessing green space, so kind of parks and woodland areas and that sort of environment, although we have some specific challenges, say in Cornwall with the coastal path, with kind of like the steep inclines and all of that. But what I found was that we don't have any evidence, we don't have any opinions from people with medical conditions and disabilities about their current experiences. So my starting point was to launch a survey, and that's currently running at the moment. And I would really encourage people to go to the beachaccessproject.co.uk website, click on the orange box and share your thoughts, because the more views we get, the more opinions and feedback we get, the more power, the more evidence we have to be able to justify the fact that our beaches aren't accessible.
Yeah, you need kind of that support in numbers behind you, isn't it, to almost get this project recognised and to really kind of stand out. And sadly, we do live in a world, don't we, where if people don't have maybe a connection or a lived experience of disability themselves, they just don't often think about it. Not because they don't care or they wouldn't like that to happen, but if that's not your world, you're just not often aware of it, are you, in the daily kind of access issues that are out there. What would you say, Will, are kind of the biggest barriers that people are facing when they want to kind of enjoy the seaside and the beach?
Obviously, sand is a significant issue for many people, not just for people who use different, wheelchairs or mobility aids. I was talking to a lady a few days ago who's had heart surgery, who gets tired very quickly. And she finds it really difficult walking on sand. And so her response was, I just don't go to the beach. So the challenges we have are connecting good transport down to the beach, adequate kind of parking for people so that they've got the space to be able to get their kit out of the car. We then need accessible toilets and changing facilities. And we then need that to all be connected with good pathways then down onto the beach. And I've been looking at ideas for having boardwalks onto the beaches and possible platforms, and then maybe having matting that then takes you down to the water's edge.
I mean, this would just be an absolute dream, wouldn't it? We're talking dream scenario here, but I don't feel like it's asking for much. I really don't. Like, I've seen pictures of again, it always does, like you said, your research has proven other countries around the world seem to be doing this, where they have this matting or these boardwalks that will like give you access down, not even directly down to the water, but at least it gets you on the sand so you can be more involved with your whoever you're there with to enjoy, a beach day or something like that. But it's really not, I don't think it's a really big ask, is it? These are quite realistic changes that could be made.
Absolutely. I mean, I was out in Spain last week and had a hotel on the beach, and I was able to go online, find out where the accessible kind of stations were, and was able to wheel myself down there. And then they had wooden boardwalks that took you down to a platform area which had shelter on it. And the thing that was so encouraging for me was that they had a qualified lifeguard who was stationed at that point, who was responsible for making sure that everything was looked after, and also to help people in and out of the water. And for me, that was kind of like a real game changer. And we had a few funny moments trying to, because obviously they're Spanish, and I was trying to kind of talk to them, and we were having to use our mobile phones to translate stuff. But the essence of it was that they really enjoyed what they were doing. And I just kind of thought, well, we have all of this. We have all of these things in the UK. We're just not putting them in a beach space.
Yeah. Why is that, do you think? Why is the UK so behind the times in terms of, these blue spaces and accessibility?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm still perplexed by the fact that we have such good guidelines for green space, but nothing for blue space. I think it's just a bit of an oversight. I've been told things like, we have the wrong sand. which just, I mean, I know we have, we have the wrong leaves on tracks for the trains, but to say that we've got the wrong sand is, I mean, we do have, down in Cornwall, we've got big tides. So that poses some significant challenges. But I think I view it, if the RLI can launch a boat from a beach, we can surely get someone with some mobility challenges to enjoy the beach environment.
Absolutely. It all sounds like excuses, doesn't it? The wrong sound. That's hilariously bad in terms of excuses, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh dear. Okay, so how's the project going so far? Obviously, you're campaigning hard. You want more people to get involved in this survey, to kind of get numbers behind you to support this need and desire for these changes to happen. Where are you currently standing, and where do you kind of need to be?
Well, I've just checked. We've now had 211 responses to the survey, which is just phenomenal. So the more people can fill out the survey, share it with other people that they know that would want to share their views, that adds weight. Every single response adds a bit more weight to what we're doing. I'm also now starting to connect. I'm going to be doing some work with Falmouth University, with the design students there, getting them to start thinking about what an accessible beach might look like, to start coming up with some imaginative solutions. And I'm based down in Dorset, and I've got some meetings with the council next week to start talking about it. So there are lots of little things going on. What I want to do is to try and bring it together.
It sounds fantastic, and almost it's just getting that ball rolling to start with, isn't it? Having the conversations with the right people and the councils, you said, to really get this started, because I feel like you said earlier, it's not just people in wheelchairs or people with mobility issues. I'm sure many parents out there with prams as well would appreciate not having to drag their buggies through the sand and get all caught up in everything. It could benefit a lot of people just generally having better accessible spaces on the beach, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, and when I was in Spain, I just spent some time in this accessible area, and what I found fascinating was that there were so many able-bodied people that were using the boardwalk because it's just easier to walk down. There were families, there were people. I went down in the evening, and there were people doing yoga on this platform area. It just seemed to create a really safe and enjoyable space for people. So I know, we have children with special educational needs. We've got an aging population. So all of these different groups can all benefit from a more inclusive beach space.
Absolutely. We've just had a comment come in as well from one of our listeners saying at some point, all of us in our lives will need some assistance, whether it's a loved one who has a disability or just all of us getting older. So it's going to benefit everybody at some point. We're all getting older. So there's almost like no reason why this just doesn't make sense why this isn't already in place. Basically, it's such an important thing.
And especially being an island nation, and the fact that we have 30,000 miles of coastline, and yet the amount of opportunity for people with medical conditions and mobility challenges to get on the beach is really, really limited. So yes, there is. It doesn't make much sense, and so in a way, that I'm trying to use that in my favour to kind of say, look, it's like the elephant in the room.
Yeah, and obviously us based down here in the southwest, it's almost like we have a duty to implement this, because we are known for our incredible coastlines down here, especially like Cornwall way. So yeah, it's great that you can really be pushing this and working with the local community groups to really get this off the ground.
Like I said to you before we came on air, I was chatting, I've been in communication with Access Cornwall, and they're really interested because they've got a real buy-in to beach access. They've got an amazing guide for Cornish beaches, But we just need those facilities to be so much better.
Absolutely. Well, I can confirm I have done the survey myself, and guys, it is it's nice, short and sweet. It doesn't take up too much of your time at all, and it really is a vital piece of, it goes towards this cause. So if you do get a chance to fill it out, please do go and support that project. Just remind us, Will, how can people find the survey and get behind it?
So the website is beachaccessproject.co.uk, and on the front page, you just scroll down a little bit. There's an orange box, and it just says click on the survey, and then that will take you there. And it's share your views and opinions, because that's what I need to hear.
Perfect stuff. There you go. Couldn't have put it any clearer. Will, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for swinging by, and this is what we love to share about here on Chaos, like local stories that are actually, really gonna, if this gets off the ground, can really benefit people. And it's such a great cause, and I really, really do hope that we manage to see this through. And yeah, if we can help in any way, please do give us a shout.
Well, if you can keep on promoting the survey, that's amazing. And I would love to come back. The survey closes at the end of September. It would be great to come back and tell you how many people have filled it out and what we're looking for the next stages.
Amazing stuff. And hey, guys, we could all be planning a nice little beach hangout next summer. Who knows? That's the dream, hey? Chilling on the sand. I love it. Will, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Ross. It was really nice to have the opportunity to talk about the Beach Access Project.
Yes, and we will definitely check in with you again later on in the year. Well, there you go, guys. That was Will there. And don't forget, do check out his website. Search the Beach Access Project across social media as well, and you can go and support it. You don't, like we've said before, you don't have to have a disability yourself to be able to support this. You may know someone, you may, have connections within your friends or family. Jump behind this, and it will benefit so many people.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, picture this. It's a quiet morning at Chaos, and suddenly the front door bursts open to 4 people in inflatable orange suits. It was Harbour Housing, of course, kicking off a festival mission with karaoke, chicken poo bingo, and a serious message too. Trust me. Here's what happened when we met their conversation starters on the start of their magical mystery tour to Glastonbury.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, for the benefit of people listening on the radio that can't see you in all of your orange fineries today, can you just tell me who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and basically, what the hell's going on here?
Absolutely. So I am Rachel. So I am one of the conversation starter team for Harbour Housing. And we are off to Glastonbury in our magical festival van. So did you know that in Cornwall between 2023 and 2024 there were 1,677 people who were homeless, and 744 of those were children. So that could be people in temporary accommodation, people out on the streets, people rough sleeping. So our mission as an organisation, or as a small charity which we are, is to try and end homelessness. So we're off to Glastonbury. Whoop whoop. And I know you're all probably thinking, why are you guys off to Glastonbury? That's not in Cornwall.
No.
But we are going to spread the message about homelessness, and we're going to tell people how many homeless people there are in Cornwall, because it's often really hidden. People think, oh, that's lovely, look at those beaches. Look at our homeless population, it's huge. So our conversation starters are going to be out and about at Glastonbury, but we're also going to be hitting up all kinds of different festivals and events this year. We're going to be rocking bright inflatable orange suits, and we are going to be talking to people about homelessness and trying to get ideas as well about what they think we can do to end it. So so that's what we're doing.
Amazing. Well, I can tell you that as conversation starters go, opening our front door of the studio to 4 people in inflatable orange suits, that does start a conversation. I had a lot of questions for you. What conversations are you going to have with people then? How do you start these conversations as well? What do you hope the end goal is?
So we hope that the end goal is basically just to raise awareness about us as a charity. So we are only in Cornwall, Harbour Housing. we don't want to leave Cornwall. We've got no intentions of doing that. But lots of people come to Cornwall, so it's just about spreading that message, and just getting ideas. And because we are quite a serious charity in the sense of what we do, we like to just have as much fun as possible. And I've got a message for Fat Boy Slim. Fat Boy, Norman, we want to speak to you. We want to speak to you at Glastonbury. We know you do loads of gigs in and around Cornwall, and we want you to come and talk to our conversation starter team, and listen to your views on what we can do to end homelessness.
As everybody knows, Fatboy Slim is a huge listener to Chaos Radio, huge fan. Actually, we watched him at Eden, a project this time last year, so we'll try and get that message out to him. We've got a few days. I see there's another message on your van as well. We'll come to that message in a minute, but talk to me about the van that you've decorated and who's been involved in that process.
So we thought that we would brighten up our van that we're going to take with us, because it draws attention and gets, again, conversations started. So our van is brightly coloured. It's sprayed painted. We've got pyramids on the back with Michael Elvis.
Michael Elvis. Yeah.
Michael, that's the one. And on the sides, it's got like beach stuff and all kinds of different stuff, and it's brightly coloured. And it was designed and painted by the people that access our service. So also with our stall at Glastonbury, because we've got a stall as well as going out and about and talking to people, we've designed it as a coastal theme to fit in with Cornwall. And part of that is all the stuff. We've had residents, we've ran art groups for the past however many months, and residents have been like painting different things, designing different things, and we're going to decorate our stall with it. So that's all been done. So actually, James, I hope you don't mind me saying, but James also lives at our accommodation. Okay. So we're trying to invite everyone to come with us,
keeping it inclusive and taking everyone on the journey with you.
Yeah, because the people who use our service are the people who know what it's like, and who are actually best to talk about what we do, from because they live there and they access it. So that's that.
It is so refreshing, because you're dealing with such difficult circumstances day to day, and with people that might be sort of at their lowest ebbs in life, and you're dealing with it with such grace, such professionalism, but also trying to recover that person to have so much fun. You guys look like you're having the best time, while also transporting this really, really important message and helping people across Cornwall. And thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for bringing chaos to chaos this morning. And this is stop one on your tour to Glastonbury. Thank you for coming to Chaos this morning. But you've also had a busy weekend of different events, and you're absolutely everywhere. We can't miss these orange shirts.
No, we are everywhere. So we've been in St Austell at their summer fete this weekend. We did have a game called Chicken Poo Bingo, which was fun. So we've down at our St Austell site, we've got a small holding with rescue animals, which the residents look after. So we thought we'd try and get that, but again in a really fun way, because if you're having fun and you look like you're having fun, people are going to want to talk to you. And then we went to the Bugle Band down in Bugle, because we've got a property down in Bugle as well. So
amazing.
But we are going to be at Boardmasters this year again, so looking forward to that. We'll be everywhere, so anywhere, if you see us, come say hello. You can even try on an orange suit if you like,
Now there's something to entice people in. Look, if people maybe are a bit nervous about speaking face to face, or maybe they're not going to any of these brilliant events that we're lucky to have here in Cornwall and in the UK as well, how can people get in touch? Maybe start a conversation with you, see what I did there, via email or via your website or via a chat or something like that, because we are talking probably about anxieties as well, aren't we? And having a group of people come up to you like this might not be for everyone.
No.
So you offer different options as well, don't you, to support people?
Yep. So we've got all our social medias. So we are on Facebook. So you'll find us as Harbour Housing on Facebook. We've also got a website, which is harbourhousing.com. And you can also email us at any time. So the kind of it's info@harbourhousing.com, or give us a call. But yeah, so although we are bright and colourful and very rah, we are also able to have a quiet chat if that's something that you would like.
Absolutely.
So yeah, send us your ideas.
So what's next? It's a long way to Glastonbury. So what's the plan? Have you mapped out kind of your food and drink stops? Is there anywhere you want a photo in the giant inflatable costumes that you've got? What's happening over the next few days and hours?
So it's been a bit of chaos this morning.
Love it.
But that's how we roll. That is how we go. So I think the plan of action is to drive and see what's what. And we have brought with us a karaoke machine. So we've got a wireless karaoke machine in the fun bus. So we're going to stop and do some karaoke because, it's quite a long drive. So we're going to get some food and do some karaoke. And yeah, talk to people. And just have fun. Because also, what's really lucky is what an opportunity as a member of staff to be able to go to Glastonbury. What an incredible opportunity. So, we're going to really make the most of it.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, I'm Tom Howe and you're listening to NEWSWAVE on Chaos Radio. Now, a village near Truro is fundraising £120,000 to restore their church bells, which over recent years have become unsafe to ring. The Ladock Bells Restoration Project will involve removal of the current bells and frame from the tower, the casting of new bells, and reinstallation of them, as well as a purpose-built frame. Their aim is to not only future-proof the church bells for their community now, but also for generations to come. Mia Howlett met with Jonathan Young, the tower captain and leader of the project, to find out more.
NEWSWAVE.
So we're in the ringing chamber of Ladock Church, and we have 8 bells. 6 of them were cast in 1883, and then 2 more were cast in 1925. We've got 8 ropes, and then further up we've got the bells in the top of the tower. Tonally, that's bright and light and sounds lovely. And then this one, which is an older one, doesn't sound quite so good. Doesn't sound quite right. So that's one of the reasons why we want to get them recast.
And are they particular notes that you're playing there, or chords?
No. English church bell ringing is much more bells 1 to 8 in an order, and then you reorder them into a different sequence. So you don't really ring the note as such. It's more about the numbers.
And what could we hear there? What numbers were those?
So the bells we heard there were numbers 2 and 3. So number 2 was cast in 1925 and is a newer bell. Sounds a lot better. And the number 3 was cast in 1883. And it's one of our older bells, which we're getting bells 3, 4 and 5 recast because they don't sound quite as good as they should.
Okay. Can you explain to me where we are? What is this up here?
So we're actually in the belfry of the church now, having just gone up all the stairs. And we've got all the bells sort of sitting quietly, minding their own business, very quiet. So we had 3 national bell hangers. Although tailors are the only people that cast bells, there are a few other businesses around the country that will install them, and we had 3 come and inspect. And during our first inspection, when we were up here, we were checking everything over, and we found that the 7th bell was quite severely damaged. The bell itself wasn't, but the fittings were quite severely damaged, which instantly meant we had to stop ringing that bell because potentially that would have fallen. Not necessarily out of the tower, but it was certainly fallen where it sits, and that could have done a lot of damage. So even from that point onward, which was last July, we were in a position where our bells weren't ringing as they should. They should sound lovely as a 1 to 8, but we were only ringing 1 to 6. So it kind of highlighted the urgent need of the work we needed to do. Ladock bells have been here 140 years. They were put in a wooden frame, and really just over that time it's all worn out. Bells themselves don't really wear out, but the fittings and the frame themselves, it's tired and it needs replacing. So we decided that we should perhaps do something about it. Whilst we've got a good and strong band here, get on and make them better than they were.
So what's the plan for the bells? What are you hoping to do in the project?
We're taking them out of the tower, all 8 of them, and sending them to Taylor's Bell Foundry in Loughborough. We're taking out the old wooden frame, disposing of that, and having a new purpose-built frame put in the tower. Bells will be restored. We will have bells 3, 4, 5 and 6 melted down. And they'll be recast into new, better sounding bells, and then they'll all be put back in the tower, hopefully before Christmas. That's the plan anyway. And then, ready for ringing for Christmas.
Oh, that will be a perfect timing to have that done. And I know that you're going to have a local crew of labourers and bell ringers to help out. What does it mean to have the support of the community for this project?
Oh, it's great. Everybody wants to sort of get involved, do their part. We've got our own ringers. We've got ringers from Truro Cathedral. We've got ringers from further up the county. Coming to help, because we don't do this very often, and it's a nice thing to do. It's a novel thing to do, really, for a lot of bell ringers, to actually see the bells out of the tower.
Yeah, and I know for this project that you need to raise £120,000. How far along are you at the moment, and what fundraising plans have you got?
Well, we're doing very well with the fundraising. We are at about 95,000 at the moment, so we've only got another 25,000 to raise. We've got our village fete at the end of the month, 28th of June, in the village hall, and we're hoping to raise a lot of money at that. We've got some other activities going on later in the year, but we have so far done a fair amount of fundraising, as I've pointed out.
That's a brilliant amount. In terms of this project and the new bells themselves, will this hopefully future-proof the church bells for quite a while now for future generations?
So yeah, the current installation is 140 years old, and that's worn out. The new frame, which will be cast iron, a purpose-built bell frame from the Bell Foundry, that'll last 250 years. If it's looked after and the bells are looked after, they'll future-proof for generation after generation. In
terms of making sure that this tradition carries on, I'm sure, are you keen for young people and newcomers to join the group as well?
Absolutely. There are never enough bell ringers around anywhere in the country. We're always after new volunteers and new people to come and learn. It's an old and ancient art, but it's something that we really enjoy doing, and we will be looking and hoping to recruit after when our bells are easier to teach on. It's a difficult thing to learn to do, and if we got some nice new bells and nice easygoing bells, it'd be great to be able to teach some more people on them.
Yeah, I've got to say, I've tried it once, and I was okay, but I wasn't that great. It's quite difficult, isn't it? But how did you get into bell ringing?
It is difficult. It's a lot of coordination. I got into it because my parents rang church bells, and I was basically dragged along to churches from a very young age, and it was sort of put up with it or learn to do it yourself. So I did, and I've done it all my life. Did it at university. It's a great activity, physical exercise, it's mentally taxing, and you meet plenty of people all over the country.
You mentioned that the work's going to be undertaken by John Taylors of Loughborough. Why was it important for you to choose them to be part of the project?
So John Taylors of Loughborough, the only remaining bell foundry in England and in the UK. They are the people that cast the bells back in 1883 and in 1925, so it's a good link there. But also because they're a heritage business, they're people we want to help out, we want to sort of put the work in their direction, and the bells will be coming from a British and an English bell foundry. There are few and far between. The alternative will be some Dutch bells, but it was decided that we wanted to stick with the British.
So you've already raised such a great amount of money, and I know you've got fundraising events coming up. How can people support you with this project, whether that's donations or anything else?
Yeah, of course, come along to the fete. That's always the first thing. We've got a GoFundMe page which can be found linked to our church website, and keep an eye out in the local press for other things we'll be doing after the summer, really. We've worked hard to this point to get everything sort of in place. We're going to have the fete. We have a tractor rally the week after, so hopefully the bells will be on display on the back of a trailer being driven around the local area. But then after the summer, we're going to have our summer holiday, and then after the summer we're going to crack on and try and raise that last £25,000.
I love the enthusiasm and the work that's gone into it from your group and the community. What would it mean to you to hear the bells in time for Christmas?
That'll be great. It'd be great, just all the hard work that we put in to get them ready and rung for Christmas so that they ring out at the right time of year, which is Christmas.
Have you got a message at all for anyone that may be listening and might be interested either in helping with the project or maybe bell ringing in the future?
If you're interested in going bell ringing, go along to your local church and introduce yourself, and somebody will take you under their wing and teach you how to do it.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, at this year's Hootenanny Fair, we stumbled across a rebel fairy camp, a magical junkyard of puzzles, pledges, and something we can all get behind: chaos. We caught up with one of the rebel fairies themselves to find out how they're sprinkling a bit of silliness, a few smiles, and maybe helping save the world, one act of cheeky rebellion at a time.
NEWSWAVE.
Hello, so I am a mischievous rebel fairy, and I'm currently at Hootenanny Fair, in amongst my rebel fairy camp with all of my fairy friends around me. So we're here to take over the festival, but also to help save the world and make it a better place. So we've got lots of different activities and things going on here. It's all very messy, scrappy. It's like a big magical junkyard, is how we like to describe it. So yeah.
And you've really taken over the site, because around every corner there's a sign or a little notice somewhere that draws people back here. So first of all, let's take it all the way back. How did you become a rebel fairy?
Sure. So we are a collective called Dirty Feet Theatre, and we've created this world that we take to festivals and other events that kind of, like you said, take over festivals and try and make it a bit silly and a bit fun. So we're encouraging festival goers to come up to us and to become part of our Rebel Fairy troupe. So they do that by doing little interactive things. We've got an escape room in the caravan. We've got puzzly things around the festival. We've got a scavenger hunt happening today. We have you can write your own little fairy pledge of how you're going to help make the world a better place. Lots of different things, and then they get their fairy stripes and they're part of us. And try and cause as much mischief as possible, which is why we like your Chaos Radio. That's absolutely what we're all about.
We are all about chaos. We're bringing our own brand of chaos to Hootenanny Fair, and it sounds like you guys are as well. It's all very bright and positive, and changing the world needs a big team as well, doesn't it? So have you had lots of festival goers coming up and making their pledges this weekend?
Yeah, we have. It's been brilliant. I mean, it's the sun is beating down, and it's very, very warm, but we've had all sorts of people come intrigued by what we're doing. We've got a lot of kind of junk mushrooms and things that I think catch people's eye, which is nice. But as you can see on our caravan behind me, we have been getting people to sign their name, either fairy or human name, whatever makes them feel more magical, on there, and it's already filling up, which is so lovely to see. There's lots of people coming up with smiles on their faces, which is lovely.
And let's take it back to the theatre company as well now. Do you do different characters at different festivals? Do you sort of mould your appearances to what the vibe might be at that particular weekend?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking into doing more in the future. This is our kind of first festival project that we've done, and we never thought it'd be this successful. So we have a couple more places that we're going this year and hoping to grow it further. But absolutely. Who knows what's next? I
absolutely love festival season because you find something completely random, completely unique. How do you, when you have your conversation with Tunes Festival, for example, here this weekend, how do you say, we want to bring a group of fairies to the festival? Is that okay? How does that conversation go and start?
So it actually happened last year. So we'd already made this caravan for a different festival, and we'd fallen so in love with it, and it was so popular that I just reached out to Tunes. I sent them an email. It was 2 weeks before a festival, and I went, I've got a fairy caravan. Would you like us to come to your festival? They went, absolutely yes, which I think is why Tunes festivals are so brilliant, because they just took an absolute leap on us, and it's paid off because we're now here again a year later. We've expanded a lot more, so we've got tents with different things happening in as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. Who are you looking forward to seeing this weekend as well? Are you getting much time away from the caravan?
We are. Because we're primarily for kind of smaller humans. We get to take our fairy wings off at 6 p.m. So absolutely, the Sugar Babes this evening. We're very much looking forward to. We're trying to see if we can see them in the crowd to try and put some fairy wings on them, but who knows? We'll grab them.
That would be so cool. And in terms of the theatre as well, how can people get involved? Where can they find more information? Can we see you at different events this summer as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are Dirty Feet Theatre. That's on across all socials. We're at Latitude Festival next month, and then Tunes in the Park in August in the same place as this, Port Eliot Estates. And we're also in collaboration this year with a local theatre company, brand new, called Taylu Theatre Company, which is based in Cornwall. So if anyone's interested in joining that, it's just a community of people over the age of 18 who really want to get more involved in theatre. Then they have a brand new Facebook page with branding and stuff. So have a look at them. It's Taylu. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, and I can't leave you without, you're already making the world a better place just through this. You brought a smile to our faces as well. My colleagues are getting right into it here next to me. What was your pledge? Can I ask what your pledge to make the world a better place might be?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I put you on the spot.
It's so hard. I ask so many people that every day and I never think what my own is. I think it is just to make people smile, and it makes all of this kind of worth it, and there's a reason that we're doing it when we kind of see festival goers come up and walk away laughing and smiling and having just a really silly time. I think that's the key to it all, really.
NEWSWAVE.
And finally this week, Mor Media Charity is the team behind the Cornwall Film Festival, a brilliant creative force that's been bringing people together through film for more than 20 years. Led by Louise Fox, the charity doesn't just run a festival though. They host screenings, events, workshops, and offer loads of opportunities for people to get involved in film, creativity and community right the way across Cornwall. Louise joined me to explain more.
NEWSWAVE.
Well, we largely work across 4 different areas. So we do a lot of education and training work. So we have a kind of skills academy, not dissimilar to yourselves. And we're running lots of training, and we do that right across Cornwall. So my colleague was up in Bodmin on Friday, and we've got some more skills workshops coming up in Falmouth and Truro. So we have kind of a year-round programme of education and skills training, and that's for young people and older people as well. So it's lots of different people. We do an events programme. So our events is really everything to do with like the film festival, anything to do with outdoor screenings, anything to do with sort of collaboration projects like the Refugee Week that we've got coming up, and anything that's kind of much more film related that we could do kind of we call that exhibition. Actually, exhibition and distribution is what we do in our events program. We do a community program, and that's really working with a lot of kind of hard to reach people. So that might fold into, and that's only based in Cornwall. So we do that right all over the county, and they're often around kind of social community programs of work. We might be teaching people, but we might run a fun activity, and we might do some kind of workshops. We might produce a magazine or do a zine or something like that. So that's our community program. And then we run an industry program as well, and that's really for professionals wanting to either step into the industry or people reskilling and coming into what would be the film and TV or broadcast industries. We give them a little bit of, we kind of bring everybody together with networking events, but we also sort of try and introduce them to some of the sort of opportunities there are for great jobs, really. So we work with all the kind of major national providers for that, so like Screen Skills and the British film industry things. So we're really kind of enmeshed into that kind of our film and TV and radio world.
Amazing. Look, I absolutely love it. Looking ahead, you've started sharing some dates for the 2025 edition. Can you give us a little peek at what's coming up and when it is as well?
Okay, so we say that Film Month is November in Cornwall. So we had so many events last year. We ran the whole month of November. So we're going to do the same again this year. I think the event itself has got really popular. It grows year on year on year. And I'm amazed by the number of kind of for what we are, quite a small team, the number of events we put in. So we're starting the week on the 3rd of November, and that is we're doing a collaboration with the Lifelong Learning Partnership and the Creative Careers Month as well. So there are two kind of key industry and community things where people will put some workshops in there and people have the opportunity to have a bit of a taster. But we'll also do some of the things that we do around kind of mental health and creativity. So some writing workshops and some photography workshops, and people who also do some volunteering work. So we're doing quite a lot of working with archives at the moment. So that will be that week. And then our community week is really reaching across all the different outreaches. So all the different venues right across Cornwall, right from, sort of Bodmin to Bude down to St Just and Poole and right across Cornwall. So there's not many organisations which work right across the county. And putting in some great events. Then we've got an Interfilm Festival. So this is a schools festival that happens that we programme sort of 3 or 4 different venues right across Cornwall. And it's where I think probably anybody that's got children will have probably been to an Interfilm Schools Festival before. And they are a national organisation that we work with to kind of bring opportunities for young people to come to the cinema, just enjoy the cinema, watch free films. They're often brand new free films that they might not have seen before. They definitely won't have seen some of them before. and then we've got a blockbuster season. So we work with the BFI, which is our National Film Institute. And this year we're working on films about melodrama. Don't ask me what we're doing with that because I've no idea.
Stop being so melodramatic.
We will be doing things around. We will be doing a season of films around melodrama, and then our preview week. So what we mean by previews is films that you wouldn't normally see until the following year. So we get them as really early release films. Sometimes they're a year early. So all the you early adopters or you film heads and culture vultures out there, this is your week for you. And that happens on the 17th to the 20th, or that week of the 17th of November. And that happens at the Poly, our partners at the Poly in Falmouth. And we tend to do quite a lot of Q&A work there. So we invite producers and directors down. We had Mike Lee last year come into the film festival, which was great. And we've got Mark Commode who's going to support the festival again this year. So he's going to be doing some interview work. And we'll do some interesting, we do kind of a think strand around that as well. So we just sort of discuss interesting ideas and topics around sometimes the film and sometimes the people working in the film. So, but all of those films are in that week. You won't see it at the cinema. They're really early releases. Most of those films sell out really quickly. So every year there's like kind of a super hot ticket, but generally all of those films sell out.
Wow. I know this event, we look forward to it every year. It is brilliant, but it must be like a swan gliding across the lake, because I know how as well. There must be in the background so much work going into it. That's why you're preparing for it now, and it's not until November. So you must have hopefully a wide range of people supporting you and volunteering their time and working with you as well.
We do have a great team, absolutely great. But the team tends to be kind of the younger team. So we attract volunteers that come in and do things like stewarding, and they show people to their seats and they do some social media stuff. But we also have like an internship team where people do a bit more work, and they tend to have been volunteers before, and they tend to come to us for anything from sort of 3 to 6 months, and we give them quite intense training about how to run events, how to work in the film industry, stuff. But they don't necessarily have to have a background in film. It's just like they have to have a kind of passion for it. So yeah, we onboard a whole bunch of them, and they're just joining our team next week. So that'll be interesting. We've got 4 new people joining next week, and they really do all the, we do a lot of planning. But yeah, we are kind of like ducks and paddling furiously. So the seamless. Not everything always works. It's a bit like a wedding, I think. The festival, not everything. Yeah. There's always one or two events they're a total disaster. It doesn't matter how well you plan for them. Last year, I think I managed to kick the projector off the projector screen, and it worked for 20 minutes and then just died.
Oh, no.
Just like that. Boom. Just like that.
Well, the more memorable events are the ones, or weddings, whatever it might be, are the ones that you can tell some of these stories from. So, yeah, that's a good story. Maybe don't get too close to the projector this time. It wasn't that long ago. This is all really, really exciting, but it wasn't that long ago that you released that really sort of powerful open letter calling for more support for the festival. Can you just update us on the reaction to your comments and the future of the Cornwall Film Festival too, please?
Well, I think a lot of people think that we're quite a big organisation, but actually we're not. I'm the only full-time employee to the festival, and we have 2 other people that work on kind of real part-time kind of contracts. I think people's perception is there's a sort of 100 of us working behind the background, and they're just not. And we're a very small charity based in Cornwall. We have to raise all the money for all the events and the participants that we do. So we get 6,500 people through the festival each year. We support about 9,000 people across Cornwall every year, which is a lot from what is a very small team and a very small charity. And we have to raise that money every year just to keep going. So that includes, the money I get paid and the money we pay out to all the freelancers and all the other the teams, and the money that we use to support the programs and to get places and all of the expenditure that we have in the charity. And we were European funded for quite a few years, which obviously it doesn't exist anymore. We had a program that we applied for that we weren't successful doing, and we worked really, really hard. I spent 4.5 months fundraising, absolutely rock solidly for the festival. And it's a bit like, and so all of the money that we raise for the organisation, which operates in Cornwall, is funded from outside of Cornwall. And I think we, after sort of 22 years of putting in all of this work and it's not like we're becoming a smaller organ. More people need our services, more people, we need to support more people. We support more other charities and more other organisations and more communities. And, we work with kids like Bernard, we work with Bernardo's, and we work with loads of other smaller charities. And we were really at a point where I was thinking, this is not going to happen. And every year I kind of think, is this going to happen? And we managed to secure a 2-year agreement from the BFI, but that's only really just a very small amount of money for the film festival. And the rest of the year just kind of isn't really covered. So that's my fear was that, it is really, we just get more and more participants, but yet less and less funding, which is a really common, that's a common story within the charity sector. And I know that, and I'm aware of that. But I do think we are very impactful, particularly around our work with young people. And we're recognised for our work with under 25s nationally. I get invited to go to conferences to talk about it, to talk about our work working with young people, yet we don't really get that recognition in Cornwall. And so that was a big call out. And actually, this year, I'm absolutely delighted to say that that organisations have responded to kind of my call. We've got some brilliant support from Falmouth Town Council and the Falmouth Bid team, and that that will unlock some more publicity that will kind of take us onto yet another level. And all these amazing people we bring to Cornwall, these the film industry was literally in Falmouth last year. We had the head of the Global Screen Fund. We had the head, Mike, who is our patron, but he's also a BAFTA fellow. We had the royalty, if you like, of film and TV were in Falmouth, and just inspiring people, inspiring them, and audiences love it. I know that our audiences grow. And we've also been able to secure some money through Feast, for our work in the kind of Camborne, Redruth and Poole area, which hasn't been funded before, which I was really thinking, we're going to have to axe that. We are going to have to shrink back this event to a much, much smaller event. But I'm very pleased to say that the festival is looking quite healthy this year, and it will go ahead, even though we could always do some more. So please, sponsors, we're not going to be turning you down. We do look for sponsorship, but we've also just landed another big project with the Heritage Lottery, which will guarantee our organisation stability over the next 2 years.
Wow, congratulations. Because just hearing your passion and hearing you relay that story there, I can see how much it means to you. And obviously we can see from the ticket sales and the people that you involve and the people that come from all over the world to join you as well, the impact that's making, both sort of for enjoyment and discovery during that week, but also for education throughout the rest of the week, and marking sort of Cornwall's rich history of in film and in culture and in arts and all this kind of stuff as well. So you're doing such amazing work, and we, like I said earlier, we could talk for hours about this. I think we should get our own show or something in the build up to the festival. But I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us here on Chaos. But for any of our listeners who have been inspired to find out more, can I just ask you to remind them where's the best place for them to go if they want to grab tickets or get involved in any way? Maybe they want to join your programs to learn more. Maybe they want to volunteer their service. Who knows? Maybe there's a big business out there that's going to go and underwrite this for you for the next few years and be a big title sponsor or something like that. Where's the best place for them to start their journey into Mor Media Charity and the film festival as well?
Mor, M-O-R, Media Charity.org, because we're an organisation. So mormediacharity.org is kind of on the website where everything is based.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to Will Behenna from the Beach Access Project, to the wonderful Harbour Housing crew, to Jonathan Young, who leads the Ladock Bells Restoration Project, to Rebellious Fairy Esme Pearson-Brown of Dirty Feet Theatre Company and the brand new Taylor Theatre Company, as well as to Louise Fox from Mor Media Charity and the Cornwall Film Festival. And as ever, a final thank you to you for listening and helping support local journalism to thrive. To catch up on all our coverage, as well as to check out our extensive back catalogue of interviews and shows, head on over to chaos.radio. And remember, if you have a local news story that you'd like to share with us, email news@chaos.radio or search Chaos Radio UK across socials. That's it, you're up to date here on Chaos. I'm Tom Howe. Whatever you're doing, thank you for listening, and be sure to keep it chaos.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.